You ready for this?
Yep, I'm ready.
Cool.
Always.
Okay. Now he's ready. Hi everyone, welcome to episode 2 of Burleigh, Bears, and a Teet. Teet! Oh, that nice, movement upwards. That's a lot better than mine.
I just felt like it needed the extra...
Thrust.
Yes, thrust.
Let's not get too excited too early. So, in episode 2, we've, as you can see by our clearly improved studio setup, we're going to be talking about Mass Effect Andromeda. If you remember from episode 1, this was very much at the top of your...
It was
list.
It was definitely a twinge maneuver.
Yes.
I went Western again there. It was a twinge maneuver, and since then it's come out, and we've both bought it, and we have both played it.
We have.
We've found time to play this game.
Yes. So this episode is us kind of breaking down our thoughts on Mass Effect Andromeda. We're both huge fans of the series. We played the entire trilogy. Yep. I had the same Shepard in the previous games.
Continuity from 1 through 3 kept it all.
So I want to kick things off by saying, we're going to specifically about Mass Effect Andromeda. I hate it.
What?
I absolutely hate it.
Is this why you didn't want to talk to me prior to the show?
I wanted the reaction that we just got.
You genuinely...
I can't stand it.
You don't like...
No.
You don't like it?
So I want to break it down why, and I want to discuss with you, and I want to kind of go through it. So,
okay, well, you defend this decision of yours. Because I love it. Loving it.
Cool.
So I'm all for it. There are some things within it that I can grumble about.
Sure.
But they are small fry. But you go first.
Okay, cool. So
I'll weigh in.
For me, the tone of the game, it's a bit more upbeat. It's not kind of the high stakes like the first trilogy was. And I think the writing's awful. I really do. I think it's some of the dialogue sounds like a Power Rangers episode. It really, I've been struggling with it. I hate all the human squad mates. The alien guys on your ship are cool, but Liam, no, he annoys me.
Yeah.
Woman with the blonde,
Cora.
talking about, that's it. Talking about her, sorry, I don't care. Honestly, I'm so uninvested in the characters. And the big thing for me was
are you comparing it to the first 3 where by the end of the third one, of course you even cared about someone like Kaidan. Kaidan was like weak character in the first game, nothing much going for him. But by the third one, you were like, he's cool. He's my dude.
I liked the characters like Garrus, like we've talked about how he is a brother to me in real life. I liked him. I liked him from the beginning of Mass Effect 1. So it took one game for me to fall in love with him as a character.
Yeah.
All of the characters in this, I couldn't care less about. I hate the way they're written. I really don't like it.
They were a bit, to some degree. I appreciate your perspective there because they are very quickly introduced and they gel very quickly as a team. Like
we're all best friends.
Yeah, they are proper buddy like almost immediately, and it's like whereas in the first one there was a bit of friction. There was a little bit of no one really like trusted each other or were like chums, and maybe to like even in the second game that was like apart from Garrus, I think Garrus was sort of like quite solidly with you, and maybe like a couple of them were like on your side.
Which I think maybe that's why we have such an affection for them already, because they almost immediately they're sort of on your side.
Whereas I must give even the Krogan guy in this game, he's no
Rex.
Like he barely resists. Like as soon as you meet him, he's like, "Yeah, I'm on board." It's like, "Oh, okay, that was easy."
Yeah.
I do get it, but the game is, as far as I'm concerned, I'm playing it now, and I feel like I'm very early. I'm still maybe like 20% of the way through the game. There's like another 80%. There's like some journey still to go. And maybe there's going to be some hairy moments in there that might make you care as the characters slowly reveal themselves over the game.
Right.
And then, like I say, if there's going to be a second or a third one, which there probably is.
Which I want to make this clear.
What's the bet in a few years' time, people are like, actually, Liam, fucking
he's alright. Yeah, he's my bro. The thing is, I want to make this clear that I absolutely want this series to continue. I really believe that this is the start of a new trilogy, and I really think that future games could course correct this for me. I think it's twofold for me. One is the writing. I just don't like the writing. It's so... And I also find sometimes in conversations where a character will go, well, I can't believe that just happened. Neither can I. And there's like a weird pause between. It doesn't flow as well as the old games did. And also then my second big problem with it is that I did the first planet. This isn't a huge spoiler, but when you get to the second planet, it's an ice planet. and you get given loads of different objectives, right? It kind of pops up different places you can go. And I went, oh, that's cool. Bit of open world stuff. You can explore at your own pace. Jumped in the Mako. Off I went. About 30 seconds up, I got a dropship come in, drop some enemies. I killed them. Cool. So I carried on to the objective. Then I got to another little building. Another dropship came in, dropped off some enemies. I killed them. Right. Got further. This happened 3 more times before I got to the objective. And I was like, right, here we go. The proper story stuff. The story mission was go up to a console, turn it on. Done. So I spent about an hour getting there. It killed it for me. Just the repetition, the fact that then I was like, oh great, they were just the roadblocks to get to the big payoff. And then nothing happened. So I dropped it hard. I've traded it in.
So
I don't have it anymore.
You don't even have it?
No. I got rid of it.
So this is... Oh.
Yeah, I dropped it hard.
This is a shocker from the man that never trades anything in.
Never. Ever.
And you've traded in a Mass Effect within weeks of it coming out.
And I did give it, I completed the first planet completely. I played it for 5, yes. I played about 5 or 6 hours of it, which I really believe that if you've given it, you got beyond the tutorial, you've got beyond the opening area, you can make a judgment about a game in 5 to 6 hours. I really feel like that. If a game isn't working for you, that's actually quite a generous amount of time to decide whether you like it or not. I think. But then that's a whole other conversation. I mean, I wanted to ask you that is, when you've played a game you haven't liked, how long from the start point to when you go, I'm done, how long is that normally for you?
Usually within one session, which is anything from 2 to a few hours. Usually, like you say, what you've done is
similar.
Generous.
Yeah.
You just know. There's usually things about it that you're gonna like or hate. The gameplay, the feel of it, the story. Just feel if it's a weak story or not.
Yeah.
Go into the sort of the story a bit. I've got some great game. Don't want to knock it at all.
Yeah.
I really, really am enjoying. I was playing it just as you rocked up.
Just
squeezing in every little session.
Because I have the app. I keep getting notifications saying that you're online.
I even got up early this morning to get some.
So you're in.
So I'm
to this.
going for it, and
Nice.
even though you got those little niggly bits that are like you've just explained, which are like a bit crap, bit repetitive, a bit underwhelming. Those bits you get rewarded because every now and again you get another really good sort of cool bit of the story where it really opens up a bit, and then you just got a little bit of drudge to sort of. It's a massive game. You're going to have little bits in there. You're going to have lots of sporadic, but sort of laborious bits that got to get you through to the next bit, and that's what makes it so good. It's like when you get a slow episode of The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, isn't it? It's like that episode wasn't very good, but people still rate the show as an entirety.
Oh yeah,
because it bridges it into the next thing is going to be good.
Right.
But anyway, going back to the bits that I know I can definitively grumble about. One, for the landscapes that are so utterly stunning in that game, why have they just cut corners on doing the hairstyles? Why does it look like everyone's got Lego hair?
Yeah, they really do.
Sometimes I go to them like that looks like Lego.
They've
hair.
just clipped that on, haven't they?
It's just like there's my hat, and there's my beard. It's like.
I like that the beard comes in two
just
parts.
sort of like that.
Okay, yeah.
You go to this amazing. You get up to a mountain. You get this landscape, the sun casting over all these beautiful mountains and stuff. Like in some games, you go, "Wow, that's stunning." And then you go into a bar and there's a barkeep with Lego hair, and you're like, "The hell?
Well, actually,
is this the same game?"
Yeah, I think the character customization isn't as good in previous games either.
But then, to be fair, the original Mass Effect trilogy, the customization varied from game to game.
Yeah.
Like in the first game, customization was massive. The second game, limited, and then the third game
was a bit better.
More. So they made it less customizable.
Oh, see, I thought the third one was better. I thought that it was. There was a bit of a dip with number 2. You couldn't do a great deal.
2 was very little you could customize with. This one, I think you can do. I think it's got the right level of it, but I'm not that fussed about customization. To be honest with you, when it comes a little bit is fine, just to create a little bit, put your own little stamp on it or whatever. But it's fine. The other thing I don't like about the. That's not all too brilliant about this game is that it just has a lot of similarities to the first 3. Like this, consider the fact you're in a completely different galaxy, 600 years distance. The Ket seem a lot like the enemies in Mass Effect 2, where
the Reapers.
The Prometheans.
That's
Prometheans were remade into these things, weren't they?
That's right.
does that strike similarity with the Ket, with those other aliens being remade?
So you think that with the opportunity of a new setting, they haven't done enough to push the boundary?
And that's very much Shadow in it. Also, the fact that there's somehow you've gone to another galaxy, and much like the first one with the Prometheans being the ancient race that used to occupy the galaxy before, where you'd find their technology everywhere. Again, it's the same thing. Every planet you go to, there was an ancient civilization, the Revenant, which has got their technology everywhere, and it's like, well, hang on a minute. Does every galaxy you go to just have littered civilizations
versions
everywhere?
Of the same thing?
Yeah, like every civilization becomes indestructible and then just evaporates
and just dies.
And then other civilizations just sort of jump in on it.
I think you've helped me think about something I was doing then as well. The problem I had, which was that I found that the things you were doing, in principle, is actually a really cool idea. Like, you're trying to find a new home in a new galaxy. The story idea is brilliant. The initial pitch is really good. But then the things the game gets you doing are really dull. Like the mining thing, the mining on the planet, is not fun.
Yeah, but it's not. But
I feel, but that okay. Well, this is
all you got to do is push a button when you drive through an area.
Yeah,
and you get some minerals.
Well, it's
not difficult. It's not,
no. It's not the challenge of it.
You don't go out of your way to do it. It does seem pointless, but you just push a button. I'll get some minerals.
Well, no, but you have to open the scanner and you have to drive to the right area and then faff about finding the right thing and then you press the button and then it does it.
I don't go out of my way to do that.
Well, I thought you had to, and I was like, it wasn't fun.
So it tends to be on like when you're going to somewhere, it goes, there's some minerals. All right, push a button. I've got some minerals now. Great. It doesn't really sell the game, that does it? I'm looking for some minerals. But the other game, I can't remember if it was 2 or 3, where you had to buy probes, find the planets, scan the planets. Send in a probe, that was more effort in the original one. This one's kind of doing the same element, but maybe just made it a little bit more convenient.
Yeah.
So I'm trying not to overanalyze that. It's a thing. I'm like,
but that's where I'm at.
I'm not focusing on that.
Right. No, neither am I. But I'm at a point where lots of little things have chipped away at me, like the repetitive nature of the gameplay, or just the bad writing, or the mining stuff. For me as well, is the lack of squad controls. You used to be able to, pull up the weapon wheel and say, right, Garrus, I want you to use concussive shot on this person, and now Liara use overload on that person. Now you can just tell them to attack an enemy, and they just spam them with all their abilities. But sometimes that's not useful. If you see a big thing coming towards you that is like got armor, so it won't be affected by some of their powers, they'll just spam them with the powers anyway. So you have less control over your squad than you used to. It's basically move here, follow me, attack that.
They're there to back you up.
Yeah, but you always had so much more control in the other games.
I must confess, actually, now that you've highlighted it, that gameplay does seem a bit...
It feels like a step back. It feels like a step back from the other games.
They're kind of there for the ride. You're doing all the work. They're just there. Sometimes actually they get in the way, and I'm just like, guys...
Now, what I will say this is I really like the player movement. What they've done with that, like that boost ability you have and the jump jets and stuff like that. Your ability to move through the environment is a lot slicker, and I like that. Yep. But I also really, really miss the cover system. You get being able to slam into cover, whereas now it's sort of like you sort of go up to a thing and duck down.
You just sort of like just go.
Yeah,
like that. You just sort of very gently lean into
it. What noise do you make? I wanted to make sure that got picked up in the thing.
I like the shepherd. We got slam into cover.
Yeah,
and it used to be like, whereas now he sort of runs up to it and just tickles himself in.
Yeah,
it doesn't have that sort of feel about it, but. There are little things that doesn't have that sort of resonate from the original, but then it has to be different, and then we're sort of stagging it for having too much different and then too much the same.
Which I understand.
Have you what we just done?
Yeah,
there?
I know.
Sort of,
yeah.
It doesn't have any of these things that the original ones. But these things they're doing differently are rubbish. Wait a minute, we've contradicted.
Which is the rock and a hard place problem, which a lot of developers face, which is that if we push it too far, like I'm a huge Rare Games fan, so. Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts was not like the old games. It was entirely different, and I hate it. It's an old Rare Nintendo game, old like back in the day.
Okay.
But the old games used to be just like the classic platformers, like Mario, like 3D platformers, right? And they changed it so much. For me, it was unrecognizable. But then sometimes you get games where they don't make much of a step at all. Call of Duty, perhaps being one. And I go, I don't want to play that. It's not evolving. So it's a really tough middle ground. And I think with Mass Effect, the changes they've made to try and make it more streamlined and different haven't worked for me. And the things that actually are quite nice changes, like the movement and the hovering and stuff like that, I really like. I just wish that other things hadn't been scaled back so that we would get those new abilities. And I don't know whether it was like a straight trade-off. I don't think it was as clear-cut as that. But I like the idea that the movement and the combat is slicker, but it does feel like they've taken options away as well. And that is a huge shame. And I really struggle with that. So
I'm still getting over the fact that you've traded it in.
No, I know. Well, and to be clear, I traded it in for Mario Kart 8, which is coming out on the Switch in a couple of weeks.
So you got rid of Mass Effect
for Mario Kart.
Quite frankly, one of the most hotly anticipated games of this year for Mario Kart 8.
I did that
because you just
and I did give it a fair shot. I gave it 5 to 6 hours, and I
must confess, when I again online, I haven't seen you playing it. I've seen you playing Uncharted 4 and just about, and even going back to Titanfall 2. But he's not really playing much Mass Effect recently. Maybe he's resting that little one. Okay, because I've ditched Wildlands. Now it's sort of I've shelved Wildlands now for the time being.
Is that because of Mass Effect?
Yes, because I feel like Wildlands I could pick that up. That's
easily. And actually, that is some of the best co-op ever because it lets you drop in and out and keep your progression no matter what you're doing.
I don't want to deviate too much from a Mass Effect special to talk about Wildlands. Where
sorry.
I know that was one of my other twinge manevers, but maybe there'll be another special where we'll talk about.
I'd like to do a co-op special at some point.
Yeah, I think when we get a few more people on board with that, but. Yeah, Mass Effect now because I want to hammer that out. I allow, like with the original games, I let it envelop me. I let it take over. I want to follow the story through. I want to just really, because the thing is, if you play a game like that over too long a period, like I've done with The Witcher, where it's like I can't remember what I did.
Yeah, you lose track of the story, don't you?
Like, who's this? I remember him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's all the little references and stuff. So I want to play it. I don't want to do it too. I don't want to play Mass Effect too quickly, but I don't want to take it.
That's another thing, isn't it? You don't want to binge it, so it's done over before it's.
So when they say, "Oh, this is a main mission," now you went, "Yeah, I'm not going to play that. I'm going to do some exploring."
Right.
Do you know what I mean? I'm going to do some side quests because if I do all the main missions too quickly and build too much momentum, I forget about all these other things.
That's actually one thing I struggle with as well. I went off exploring because I was like, I got bored of doing the main quests, and I was like, "Oh, what's in there? You found some iridium," and I'm like, I don't care. It's not exciting at all.
Yeah, it does. It's a weird one. It's like, oh, this is so underwhelming, but you keep doing it nonetheless. You're like, oh, I wonder what's over here.
So you're hooked in, right?
So I'm hooked in. I'm in it now, and I'm like, I'm seeing this through to the end. I think it's still gonna hook me. I think when I finish the game, I'm gonna be like, that was. I feel like that was a journey. I reckon couple of your buddies are gonna get. There's going to be some people probably going to go, I've played this already and I already know what happens, and there's other people that are probably further behind, but I don't know where I am. I reckon some buddies are going to snuff it, which is going to make you get more invested.
I'd love to do a follow up to this after you finished it.
When I finished it,
I want to ask you how you feel about this like 3 months from now.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm thinking like again, I'm probably with you in the fact that I'm not so invested with the characters. If I went on a mission now and if someone got killed, I'd be like, oh, okay. Oh, I'd be like, oh, okay. But I wouldn't be like...
Doesn't tug, does it?
I wouldn't be tugged like in the second game when, it had the potential to lose a lot of your guys. I'd like... That really...
It stung, didn't it?
Like, oh, yeah. No, I didn't want that person.
Oh, the suicide mission at the end of 2 is one of the best. In terms of high stakes, it feels so intense.
It's like, you just want to wrap them all in cotton wool and go, come on, guys, I'm going to get you through
I picked Garrus every time to stay with me because I figured I've got the best chance of keeping him alive if he's right by my side. Yeah. So I didn't want to risk sending him off anywhere.
But like you say, now, if someone died, big whoop.
Well, then that's one thing I'll ask you then. I want to know how you feel about the characters later on.
But then maybe once I've done a few more missions with them and I've done some of this bonding stuff with them, and then I'm like, the character dialogue might change. Something's going to happen when you just be like, oh, actually, this guy's all right or whatever. So you got to do some of the loyalty missions. So they still got that in there where you got to do loyalty missions.
Oh, nice.
So
okay.
there is
I didn't know that. That's cool.
There is some bits of
I always enjoyed those in number 2. Mass Effect 2 had really good loyalty missions.
So they've got the same thing in this one as well. Cool. So you've got to find the arcs of the races of the people that are on your team. That's part of the loyalty. So you've got to find the Turian arc. That'll be your Turian.
Oh, I saw that in the like the Asari arc and the Krogan and
And you got to help the Krogan. The Krogan have got their own. I've just opened that up now. I've got the option to go to where all the Krogan are hiding.
Cool.
So that's part of my Krogan loyalty mission.
Nice.
So I have these options now, and I'm thinking maybe once I've explored these, I'll get into the characters a bit more. Then maybe one of them will go, and then I'll be like, oh, there we go. I'm in.
Yeah. Then it's got you, isn't it?
Completely got it. It's got me already, but it's a matter of how deep the game lures you into this new. It's the same. It's the Mass Effect universe, but it's a different universe. Does that make? Because you're in a different galaxy.
Yeah.
New characters. The rules are completely different. You're not part of the whole Citadel sort of galaxy anymore. Now you're in the Nexus, which is again another rip-off of the original. Now we don't have a Citadel. We've got a Nexus, which is now a.
But it's exactly the same, isn't it?
It's the same thing. Isn't it? You go there and you went, this is the Citadel, basically. They couldn't think. Do you know what? Let's just build a city on a planet. No, they have to have it in space, don't they?
Yeah.
It's a lot of. Again, that's another. I've just slagged it a little bit there without realising it.
No, but this is good. This is what I wanted to hear because I know how much you're enjoying it and just a moment-to-moment gameplay. And I also, obviously, now you know too, is how much I've just really, it hasn't struck a chord with me at all. So it's just interesting to compare up and have that sort of basis for comparison.
I'm still shocked at how much, not even a small chord, it's
really bothered me.
Completely gone the other way.
Yeah.
These things have just got to you so much that you just couldn't get past them.
I think I was just, maybe this is a case of expectations being too high. That I perhaps hyped it up a bit too much.
Waiting for 5 years, that's a long time. I've not really been giving it much thought until the last...
Right.
Maybe the year leading up to it was when I was like, oh, it's coming.
We're a year out, it's on the horizon sort of thing.
Yeah, but it's still a long time to wait because you knew they were going to make another one. They did say they were going to many years ago. But maybe the hype hasn't met your expectations. It's
possible.
It's like
maybe that's where I'm at.
You were just expecting more.
Yeah, and I really think that it was just a case of... Because of those expectations, I went in with very specific ideas about what I wanted to see, and it didn't.
No, I went in with a completely my mind was open going into this. I was like, I wonder what they've done. I know they.
Oh, I'll fully admit I went in very biased because of how much I love the old ones.
So I knew they were changing it up, and I was accepting. I was like, actually, if you dabble with the original trilogy and try and bring Shepard back into it, that's when you're going to ruin it. So I was quite happy for a fresh start, and that's how I'm treating it as a whole new. Yes, the original trilogy were great. Close that door on it. Move it, into the history books. Maybe one day I'll replay them again, years from now.
I really want to do that, actually. I really want to do that.
Like,
well, they're actually, the trilogy of games is on EA Access, which is the subscription service on Xbox, where you can, it's a bit like Netflix, you pay like $5.99 a month, and you get access to like 30 plus EA games, and all the Mass Effects are on there for free, and you just get it as part of it. And I really want to go back and just go through. Maybe do like a FemShep run where I'm playing as a female shepherd.
Never did that. I always played as male shepherd.
Yeah, same here.
Even this time around, playing as
same.
The dude rather than the twin sister.
So yeah, well, listen. What we'll do is, a few months from now, I will do a follow-up episode of Burleigh and a Teet. What an opportunity I just missed. Sorry, we'll do a follow-up episode of Burleigh, Bears, and a Teet. Teet! And we harmonised that. That was beautiful. Teet!
Synchronisation.
It's beautiful. Yeah. So we'll do a follow-up episode. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Don't let us put off you buying Mass Effect Andromeda. It's still really good. Don't listen to him.
Sounded like it was sponsored.
Do it.
It sounded like EA are sponsoring the podcast.
Send me merch.
Actually, that would be lovely.
I love the game.
Cool.
Can we go now?
Yeah.